Hey everyone, this is Chuck Wooten, Success Advisor with the Paradigm Shift Institute. Thanks for sharing some of your day with me. I do appreciate it very much. Oh gosh, I've got so much to say today, so I'm going to do it as quickly as I can. One of the things that really wanted to talk to you a little bit about is, in the course of the work that I do as a success advisor, I get to meet and interact with people all over the world, pretty much every day. And I mean all over the world. And it's wonderful. And I get to learn about people. I get to learn about what their hopes and dreams are, what their goals might be if they have goals. And we get to talk about those kinds of things. And then we kind of, map out a plan. Here's how we can work together to achieve these goals for you. Basically, anything you really want to achieve, we can show you how to do that. There comes a time in a lot of these conversations, and this is what I want to talk about today. A lot of times in these conversations, they stall out at the very end. And if you've been following the Paradigm Shift Institute, I mean, it's right in the very name. It's a paradigm that basically puts a freeze on people and their ability to make a decision that's actually going to improve their life. That paradigm is actually holding them back from succeeding. And I just wonder, one of the paradigms that I'm talking about is essentially it's a paradigm. It's fear. It's fear. And so yes, everybody has fear. Everybody has fear. But I got a few things I want to talk about that. One of the things I want to talk about with fear is, if you know that you have it, how do you address it? How do you address it? How do you make it to where it's not a controlling factor in your life or standing in your way of success? That's a huge issue. The thing that I've thought about fear, and what I've been taught in my life, is that if I tolerate fear, then I've contaminated my faith. So what I will say is that fear tolerated is faith contaminated. And the reason I say that is because those two things, fear and faith, they simply cannot. It's impossible for them to coexist. You have one or you have the other. And so what I wanted to say about that is I wanted to say a little bit that fear, while we all have it, we have a choice that we can make to let that control us and hold us back, or that we can deal with it appropriately and we can get rid of it. So for example, if I told you that I had this what's called a BHAG. I don't know if you've heard of that term before. It's a big, hairy, audacious goal, a BHAG. If I had this thing and it just seems like the most outrageous thing that you've ever heard of, my response to that is good, because that's exactly what I want to achieve, and that's what I'm working towards achieving. The goals that I set, and the goals that we all should set, should excite you a lot, but they should also scare you a little bit, because what happens is when you have that element in there, it actually ignites something in your spirit that helps you to keep moving forward. Okay, so while I'm talking about fear, I'm saying that fear should not paralyze you, and I see that every day with the people that I work with. I see them get right to the cusp, right to the very edge of making that committed, irrevocable decision that they're going to move forward, and they're going to make a quality change in their life that's going to turn their life from day to night, increase their income, all the things that people want to achieve. And I see them get right to the edge, and then you can almost see them doing this, like like trying to hold themselves from taking that leap. And that's really what I wanted to talk about, is why are we doing that? So when we talk about fear, fear is not something that you can power your way through. You can't. You need to understand it. You need to understand what's causing it. And if you try to do it on sheer willpower, it's probably not going to work. And I heard Bob Proctor say one time that, an article or something that I think I read called "The Six Ghosts of Fear," and he was talking about when you recognize that you have fear. Fear is holding you from doing something that you know that you need to be doing. Oh my goodness! Don't try to power it away, but instead do something that's completely illogical to the way that we normally think, and actually invite it in. But when you invite it in, demand that it take a back seat. And eventually what will happen is it'll get bored there and it'll disappear. For lack of a better way, I hope that illustration works for you. But you actually have the power to do that. And so don't run from fear. I wouldn't embrace it to the point that it's actually holding you from doing what you're doing, but you cannot let it dictate how your life goes. And just think about things that are just illogical. Think about things that have happened, in society. Think about, great inventions. Think about the light bulb, the airplane, so on and so forth. Those things could not have ever been done if the people that were doing them let their fear get in the way. So what great idea do you have that's bubbling up in you that you're saying, well, that would never work, or this or that? One of the things that we tend to do as people, we tend to concede really too early. And when we concede too early, we say things like, see if this resonates with you. Okay, I'll give it a try. Okay, so the harsh truth is trying doesn't get anything done. Doing gets things done. And so, a great cosmic philosopher, Yoda, I'm sure that most of you are familiar with this, has a quote that says, "Do or do not, there is no try. Try does not get it done." And so that's how we rationalize letting our fear win. When we say, I'm going to try something, what we're saying is, I'm planning to lose. When we say, I'm going to do something, on the other hand, that means that we're planning to win. And I think everything that we do, every single thing, I don't care how big or how small, everything that we do, we should be planning to win. Does that mean you're going to win every time? I hope you do, but it's possible that you don't. Okay, so you do it again, and you do it again, and you do it again. And just like Thomas Edison with the light bulb, how many times did he create, something and test it and it failed? A lot. I think close to 1,000 times. But nobody remembers all those. What they do remember is they remember the one time that it did. And it's not because he tried it, it's because he did it. So, I hope that encourages you a little bit today. So I did want to talk about that. Don't let fear have its way with you. You're too big, you're too good, and you are destined to win. You are absolutely destined to win. You were put here to win. So grab a hold of that and do something with it, will you? So before I let you go today, here's what I'd like you to just a couple little housekeeping items. Every week we do at Paradigm Shift Institute, we're involved in a podcast style recording that we do, and it's actually a live broadcast, and it's on our private Facebook group, and we call it the Science of Wealth, and it's every week. Right now, it's on Thursdays at 12 noon on Brisbane, Australia time, and so that converts to I'm in the eastern United States, so that converts to about 10 p.m. my time. We do make replays available for about 7 days. And so I want you to tune into that. The Science of Wealth. You're going to learn that there's actually a science behind wealth, and you need to put those things in, and how that lines up with science and the scientific laws and also universal laws, and how you can put that to work in your own life in very, very practical ways. Okay, so don't miss that. And let's see, what else? I think that's it. That's what I wanted to talk about today. So anyway, thanks again for sharing your day with me, and I will see you next week. All right, take care.